I'm worth $42 million. You're a public servant making what, $80,000 a year? Do the math, old man. Those words echo through Providence Municipal Court. The room goes dead silent. Every person freezes. Judge Frank Caprio sits behind the bench. His face doesn't move, but his eyes show something nobody in that courtroom has ever seen before. This is case 2025 TR 91847. It started as a simple traffic violation. It's about to become the most viral courtroom moment of the decade. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. The date is March 14th, 2025. It's a Thursday morning. The courtroom is packed. People sit shoulder to shoulder in the wooden benches. Some are here for their own cases. Others heard rumors about today's session. Word spreads fast in Providence. At the defendant's table sits a woman. Her name is Rosa Martinez. She's 52 years old. She wears a blue nursing uniform. The fabric is faded from too many washes. Her name tag reads St. Joseph Hospital, 28 years service. Her hands rest in her lap. They're rough hands. Hands that have worked every single day for 3 decades. Hands that have held dying patients. Hands that have comforted scared children. Hands that have saved lives. Rosa is here because of 3 parking tickets. She parks on Broad Street every morning at 5:30 a.m. She starts her shift at 6 a.m. The hospital parking lot fills up by 5:45 a.m. She has no choice. She parks on the street. Sometimes the meter doesn't take her quarters. Sometimes she's 30 seconds late getting back to feed it. 3 tickets in 6 months. Total fines, $285. Rosa supports 4 people on her salary. Her mother has dementia. Her son is in college. Her daughter has cerebral palsy and needs care. Her husband died 2 years ago. Heart attack. At work. He was a construction worker. No life insurance. Rosa makes $52,000 a year before taxes. After taxes, rent, medical bills, and her daughter's care, she has about $300 left each month. These parking tickets represent her entire food budget. She sits quietly. Her back is straight. She doesn't complain. She never complains. Judge Caprio reviews her file. His reading glasses sit on his nose. He's seen thousands of cases. But this one bothers him. He can see Rosa's payment history. She's paid every bill on time for 28 years. Every single one. Until now. Ms. Martinez, he says gently. I see you're a nurse at St. Joseph's. Yes, Your Honor. Her voice is soft, respectful. 28 years. That's remarkable service. Thank you, Your Honor. I love my job. The judge is about to speak again when the courtroom doors explode open. Everyone turns. In walks Damien Wolfe. He's 23 years old. He's the founder of CryptoFlash, a digital currency platform. Last year, his company went public. He became one of the youngest billionaires in America. Net worth, $42 million and climbing. Damien doesn't walk. He struts. He wears a custom Tom Ford suit. Navy blue with thin silver pinstripes. The suit costs $7,800. His shirt is silk. Hermes. $650. His tie is loose around his neck. Purposely casual. His shoes are Berluti leather Oxfords. $2,400. On his wrist sits a Richard Mille watch. The model is RM11-03. Price tag, $180,000. His hair is styled perfectly. Slicked back with expensive product. His face is smooth. He's never done a day of manual labor. His hands are soft. Manicured nails. A gold ring sits on his pinky finger. His college fraternity ring. In his hand is his phone. iPhone 16 Pro Max. The newest model. It's in a case made from real crocodile skin. He's scrolling through Twitter. His thumb moves fast. He doesn't look up. Behind him walks his lawyer. Nathan Pierce. Gray suit. Expensive briefcase. The lawyer looks worried. He knows who Judge Caprio is. He knows this could go badly. Mr. Wolfe, the lawyer whispers. Put the phone away. Please. Damien ignores him. The bailiff stands. Case 2025 TR 91847. The State versus Damien Wolfe. Judge Caprio looks up. Mr. Wolfe, please approach the bench. Damien keeps scrolling. His eyes stay on the screen. Yeah, one SEC, he says. His voice is bored. Flat. The courtroom gasps. Small gasps. Quiet. But everyone hears them. Judge Caprio waits. 10 seconds pass. Mr. Wolfe. Now please. Damien sighs. A huge dramatic sigh. Like this is the biggest inconvenience of his life. He slides his phone into his pocket. He walks to the bench. His steps are slow. Purposely slow. He's making everyone wait. He stops at the podium. He doesn't stand straight. He leans on it. One elbow. Casual. Like he's at a bar. Mr. Wolfe, Judge Caprio says. You're here today because on February 3rd, 2025, you were driving on Elmwood Avenue near Washington Elementary School. The speed limit there is 25 miles per hour. It's a school zone. According to Officer Chen's report, you were clocked at 68 miles per hour. Damien shrugs. Okay. The judge raises his eyebrows. That's nearly 3 times the speed limit. In a school zone. At 8:15 in the morning. Children were arriving at school. Look, Damien says. I was late for a meeting. I had to get to Boston. Do you know how much money I make per hour? The judge doesn't answer. About $2,100, Damien continues. Per hour. So every minute you keep me here costs me $35. Can we just pay the fine and move on? The lawyer behind him closes his eyes. He knows it's starting badly. Judge Caprio stays calm. Mr. Wolfe, this isn't just about a fine. You endangered children. You endangered other drivers. Officer Chen states that you nearly hit a crossing guard. Nearly doesn't count, Damien says. People in the courtroom shift in their seats. A woman in the back row shakes her head. It counts, the judge says firmly. It counts a great deal. Officer Chun, please approach. Officer Lisa Chun stands. She's been with Providence Police for 12 years. She's 5'4", tough as nails. She walks to the witness stand. She's sworn in. Officer Chun, Judge Caprio says, please describe what happened that morning. Officer Chun pulls out her notebook. At approximately 8:13 a.m., I was conducting speed enforcement on Elmwood Avenue. It's a school zone. Speed limit is 25 miles per hour between 7 o'clock and 9 a.m. I observed a silver Lamborghini Huracan approaching at high speed. I clocked it at 68 miles per hour using LiDAR equipment. And what happened next? The vehicle approached the crosswalk at Washington Elementary. Mrs. Patricia Donovan was working as crossing guard. She had just stepped into the crosswalk with her stop sign. 5 children were waiting to cross. The Lamborghini came within approximately 8 feet of Mrs. Donovan before swerving into the opposite lane. Mrs. Donovan had to jump back. One child started crying. The courtroom is silent. People stare at Damien. He's examining his fingernails. I immediately pursued and conducted a traffic stop 3 blocks away. The driver, Mr. Wolfe, was on his phone when I approached. He continued his phone conversation even after I asked him to roll down his window. Did he seem concerned about what had just happened? Officer Chen pauses. No, Your Honor. When I informed him he nearly hit a crossing guard and children, his response was, and I quote, but I didn't, so what's the problem? A man in the gallery stands up. Are you kidding me? He shouts. Sir, please sit down, the bailiff says firmly. The man sits, but his face is red, angry. Judge Caprio looks at Damien. Mr. Wolfe, do you have anything to say? Damien straightens up. Yeah, actually. This is ridiculous. I'm a good driver. I've been driving since I was 16. Never had an accident. Not one. You know why? Because I have excellent reflexes. I knew exactly where that crossing guard was. I was in complete control. At 68 miles per hour. I could handle it. Mr. Wolfe, at 68 miles per hour, if one of those children had run into the street, you would have had 0.6 seconds to react. That's less than 1 second. You couldn't have stopped. Damien rolls his eyes. Literally rolls his eyes. But they didn't run into the street. This is all hypothetical. You can't punish me for something that didn't happen. Judge Caprio's jaw tightens. Just slightly. Officer Chun, is there more to your report? Yes, Your Honor. After I issued the citation, Mr. Wolfe made several statements. He said, quote, do you know who I am? I replied that I didn't. He said, Google me. I'm worth more than you'll make in your entire life. He then said, quote, I'm calling the mayor. You just ruined your career. The courtroom erupts. Not yelling, but whispers. Loud whispers. They spread like fire. That's not what I meant, Damien says quickly. Too quickly. What did you mean? The judge asks. I just meant that I have resources. I can fight this. I have lawyers. You do have lawyers, Judge Caprio agrees. Mr. Pierce, do you wish to say anything on behalf of your client? Nathan Pierce stands. Your Honor, Mr. Wolfe is young. He made a mistake in judgment, both in his driving and his comments to Officer Chun. He's willing to pay the fine and attend traffic school. Is he willing to apologize? Everyone looks at Damien. He shifts his weight. Sure. Sorry. It's the least sincere apology anyone has ever heard. No eye contact. No emotion. Just a word. Judge Caprio writes something down. Officer Chun, what happened after you issued the citation? Officer Chun flips a page in her notebook. Approximately 15 minutes after the stop, I received a call from Captain Morrison. He asked me to come to his office. When I arrived, he informed me that he'd received 3 phone calls about my traffic stop. One from Councilman Brady, one from the mayor's assistant, and one from someone claiming to be Mr. Wolfe's father. The room goes completely silent. What did these calls request? They requested that the citation be dismissed. Each caller suggested that Mr. Wolfe is an important member of the community. One caller implied that my job performance was being questioned. Judge Caprio's eyes flash. Just for a second. And what did your captain say? He told him to go through proper legal channels. Then he told me to document everything. He said he had my back. Good, the judge says. That's how it should work. Mr. Wolfe, did you make these calls? I might have mentioned it to some people, Damien says. I was upset. I felt like I was being profiled. Profiled how? Driving while successful. The car I drive. The watch I wear. Officer Chen saw money and decided to make an example of me. Officer Chen's face hardens. Sir, I pulled you over because you nearly killed a 68-year-old crossing guard and 5 elementary school children. I wouldn't have cared if you were driving a bicycle. Whatever, Damien mutters. What was that? Judge Caprio asks sharply. Nothing. No, you said something. Speak up. Damien looks directly at the judge for the first time. I said whatever. This whole thing is a joke. I get pulled over for driving a little fast, and I'm treated like a criminal. Meanwhile, there are actual bad people out there. Maybe if Providence police spent less time harassing job creators and more time fighting real crime, this city wouldn't be such a dump. The courtroom explodes. Real shouts this time. The bailiff steps forward. Order. Everyone quiet down. It takes a full minute for the room to settle. Rosa Martinez sits in her seat. Tears run down her face. Silent tears. She's thinking about the children. The 5 children who could have died. She's thinking about her own children. She wipes her eyes with a tissue. Judge Caprio takes a deep breath. Mr. Wolfe, I need you to understand something. This court sees about 50 cases every week. Parking tickets. Traffic violations. Small claims. Most people who come through those doors are working people. People like Ms. Martinez. He gestures to Rosa. They work hard. They follow the rules. When they make a mistake, they own it. They apologize. They learn. You're showing none of that. Because I didn't do anything wrong, Damien says. Not really. I was driving fast. Okay, fine. Charge me for speeding. But all this other stuff? The drama about the crossing guard? The lectures? I don't need it. Just tell me what I owe. You don't need it. The judge's voice is quiet. Dangerously quiet. You don't need to hear about the lives you could have ended. Could have. Didn't. There's a difference. Judge Caprio writes something else down. Officer Chun, do you have anything else? Yes, Your Honor. After the traffic stop, I learned that Mr. Wolfe posted about the incident on his social media accounts. I have printouts if you'd like to see them. Please provide them to the clerk. Officer Chun hands several pages to the clerk. The clerk gives them to the judge. Judge Caprio reads them. His expression doesn't change, but people who know him can see something. A tightness around his mouth. Mr. Wolfe, these are your Twitter posts. Yeah. Let me read one. Posted February 3rd at 9:47 a.m. Just got pulled over by Providence's finest for driving my own car on my own road. Funny how jealousy looks in a uniform. Does that sound familiar? Damien shrugs. I was venting. Here's another. Same day, 11:23 a.m. Some people write tickets. Some people write code that changes the world. Know your place. Did you write that? It's a free country. First Amendment. Is a free country, Judge Caprio agrees. You can say what you want, but words have meanings. They have consequences. You're suggesting that Officer Chen pulled you over out of jealousy. Not because you were endangering lives. She probably was jealous. Officer Chen's face stays neutral. She's heard worse. She's a professional. Here's one more, the judge continues. February 3rd, 6:34 p.m. Update. Providence Police Department is about to learn what happens when you mess with the wrong person. Lawyers engaged. Calls made. This goes away by Monday. Did you write that? Yeah. And it should have gone away. Why? Because I have resources. Because I know people. Because I'm important. The words hang in the air. People in the courtroom can't believe what they're hearing. A woman in the third row has her mouth open. An older man shakes his head slowly. Judge Caprio puts down the papers. Mr. Wolfe, let me tell you something. I've been a judge for 38 years. I've seen thousands of people come through this courtroom. Rich people, poor people, famous people, regular people. And I've learned something. Want to know what it is? Damien doesn't answer. Nobody is above the law. Not you. Not me. Not the mayor. Not the governor. Nobody. The law exists to protect everyone equally. Especially the vulnerable. Like children. Like crossing guards doing their jobs. Like nurses who can barely afford parking tickets. That's a nice speech, Damien says. Can I go now? The room gasps. Actual gasps. Loud ones. Judge Caprio stares at him. Excuse me. I said that's a nice speech. Very moving. But I have places to be. I'll pay whatever fine you want. Just tell me the number. The judge's hands rest on the desk. His fingers are interlaced. You think this is about money? Everything is about money. No, not everything. Sit down, Mr. Wolfe. I'm fine standing. That wasn't a request. Bailiff, please bring a chair for Mr. Wolfe. The bailiff brings a chair. He places it directly in front of the bench. Damien sits. He crosses his arms. His leg bounces. Impatient. Judge Caprio turns to his computer. I'm pulling up some additional information. Mr. Wolfe, is your driver's license number 942-667-3381? I don't know. Probably. It is. And according to the DMV, you've had your license for 7 years. In those 7 years, you've received 9 speeding tickets. 9. The fastest was 91 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. Is that correct? I like to drive fast. So what? Have you ever taken a defensive driving course? No. Have you ever attended traffic school? No. Have you ever had any consequences for your driving? I paid the fines. Money again, the judge says. You paid money and kept driving the same way. Let me ask you something else. Have you ever worked a minimum wage job? Damien laughs. Actually laughs. No. Why would I? Have you ever worried about paying rent? No. Have you ever had to choose between buying groceries and paying a bill? No. Have you ever taken public transportation because you couldn't afford gas? No. What's your point? Judge Caprio leans forward. My point, Mr. Wolfe, is that you live in a different world than most people. You've never struggled. You've never gone without. And because of that, you've never learned empathy. You've never learned respect. You've never learned that actions have consequences. I've learned plenty, Damien says. I built a company from nothing. From nothing. The judge raises his eyebrows. Really? Tell me about this nothing. Where did you go to college? Stanford. And who paid for Stanford? My father. Your father. And before Stanford, where did you go to high school? Phillips Exeter Academy. That's a private boarding school in New Hampshire. Tuition is about $60,000 a year. Who paid for that? Damien shifts in his chair. My father. Your father. And when you started CryptoFlash, where did your initial funding come from? Damien doesn't answer. Mr. Wolfe, I asked you a question. My father invested, Damien says quietly. How much? $5 million. The courtroom erupts again. This time the bailiff doesn't even try to quiet everyone immediately. He lets them react, because he's thinking the same thing they are. Judge Caprio waits for silence. So you had every advantage. The best schools, wealthy family, connections, money to start a business. And you call that from nothing. I still had to work hard, Damien argues. Lots of people have advantages and fail. I succeeded. You did succeed in business, the judge agrees. I'm not denying that. But success in business doesn't make you better than other people. It doesn't put you above the law. It doesn't give you the right to endanger lives and feel no remorse. I don't feel no remorse. Really? Show me. Show me 1 ounce of genuine remorse. Apologize to Officer Chun. Look her in the eye and apologize. Damien turns slightly. He glances at Officer Chun. Sorry you got offended. That's not an apology, Judge Caprio says. That's a non-apology. You're sorry she's offended, not sorry for what you did. Try again. This is stupid. Try. Again. Damien sighs loudly. He turns to Officer Chun. I'm sorry for driving too fast near the school. Happy. Officer Chun doesn't respond. Her face is neutral. Professional. Now apologize to Mrs. Donovan, the crossing guard you nearly hit. She's not even here. She's right there. Judge Caprio points to the gallery. An older woman sits in the 4th row. White hair. Bright orange safety vest folded in her lap. She's 68 years old. She's been a crossing guard for 15 years. She volunteers. She doesn't get paid. Every eye turns to her. She looks scared. She doesn't like attention. Damien turns around. He sees her. Whatever. Sorry. Mrs. Donovan's hands shake. She nods slightly. She doesn't speak. Look at her, Judge Caprio says. Really look at her. That's a human being. A grandmother. She stands outside in the rain, snow, and heat to keep children safe. She does it for free. Because she cares. And you nearly killed her because you were late for a meeting. But I didn't kill her. Because she jumped out of the way. Because she has good reflexes at 68 years old. She saved her own life, and you act like you deserve credit for not hitting her. Judge Caprio's voice has risen. He catches himself. He takes a breath. The courtroom is frozen. Nobody moves. This is unprecedented. Judge Caprio is known for his kindness, his patience, his understanding. But even saints have limits. Let me tell you about Ms. Martinez, the judge says, his voice calm again. Rosa Martinez. She was sitting right here waiting for her case when you walked in. She's here because of 3 parking tickets. Total of $285. She can't pay it because she's supporting 4 family members on a nurse's salary. She works 12-hour shifts. She saves lives. Every day. People are alive because of her. And she's stressed about parking tickets. Damien glances at Rosa. She's looking down. Embarrassed. That watch on your wrist, Judge Caprio continues. That's a Richard Mille RM 11-03. I know because my nephew is obsessed with watches. He showed me pictures. That watch costs about $180,000. Do you know what Ms. Martinez makes in a year? No. $52,000. Before taxes. Your watch costs more than 3 years of her salary. 3 years of saving lives. 3 years of working holidays. 3 years of going to bed exhausted. Your watch. Damien looks at his wrist. He doesn't say anything. And you walked in here into a courtroom full of working people with real problems, and you acted like your time was too valuable to be bothered with consequences. You disrespected Officer Chun, who protects this community. You disrespected Mrs. Donovan, who volunteers to keep children safe. You disrespected Ms. Martinez and everyone else here by implying you're better than them. More important. I didn't mean it like that. Then how did you mean it? I'm busy. I have responsibilities. Everyone has responsibilities, Judge Caprio says firmly. The difference is that most people handle their responsibilities without breaking the law and endangering others. Now, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take a 15-minute recess. I'm going to review all the evidence. And then I'm going to render my decision. Mr. Wolfe, I suggest you use these 15 minutes to think about your behavior. Really think about it. Because what happens next depends on whether you can show me that you understand the seriousness of your actions. The judge stands. Everyone stands. He exits through the door behind the bench. The courtroom stays silent for 10 seconds. Then everyone starts talking at once. Low voices. Angry voices. Damien pulls out his phone. He immediately starts texting. His lawyer leans over. Put that away. Please. You're making this worse. How can it get worse? Damien asks. He's already decided to throw the book at me. Because you won't shut up, the lawyer hisses. Because you keep proving his point. Just be quiet. Show some humility. I'm not going to kiss his ass. The lawyer closes his eyes. You're paying me $500 an hour to give you advice. Here's my advice, kiss his ass. Damien ignores him. He keeps texting. Rosa Martinez stands. She walks to the hallway. She needs air. She needs to call her mother's caregiver. She needs to check if her daughter took her medication. Mrs. Donovan stays in her seat. Her hands still shake. She keeps seeing that silver car. Keeps feeling the fear. She jumped back just in time. Just in time. She thinks about the children behind her. What if she hadn't jumped? What if the car had swerved the other way? Officer Chin talks to another officer in the hallway. I've never seen Judge Caprio like that, she says. Me neither, the other officer agrees. But that kid deserves it. The disrespect. I've dealt with worse, Officer Chin says. What bothers me is he could have killed someone, and he doesn't care. Not one bit. 15 minutes pass slowly. They feel like an hour. The bailiff returns. All rise. Everyone stands. Judge Caprio enters. He sits. Everyone sits. He looks at Damien. Damien is still holding his phone. He puts it down when he notices everyone staring. Mr. Wolfe, the judge begins. In my 15-minute recess, I did some additional research. I looked at your social media posts. Not just about Officer Chun. All of them. Want to know what I found? Damien doesn't answer. I found posts where you brag about your wealth. About your cars. About your lifestyle. That's fine. That's your right. But I also found something else. On February 3rd, the same day as your traffic stop, you posted a video. It's still up. It shows you driving. Fast. Very fast. The camera is mounted on your dashboard. You're on Route 95. The speedometer is visible. It shows 127 miles per hour. And you're laughing. You think it's funny. You captioned it, Life in the Fast Lane. Do you remember this? Damien's face goes pale. That's taken out of context. What context makes 127 miles per hour acceptable? The road was empty. The speed limit is 65. You were going almost twice that. And you posted it for your 230,000 followers to see. To celebrate. Like it's something to be proud of. The judge clicks his mouse. A screen on the wall lights up. The video plays. Everyone can see it. Damien's hands on the steering wheel. The speedometer climbing. His laugh. The caption. When it ends, the room is silent. This shows a pattern, Judge Caprio says. This isn't a mistake. This isn't a one-time error in judgment. This is who you are. This is how you drive. Fast. Reckless. And proud of it. Damien's lawyer stands. Your Honor, my client respectfully requests. Sit down, Mr. Pierce. The lawyer sits. Judge Caprio looks at Damien. Stand up, please. Damien stands. His confidence is cracking. Just a little. His leg bounces. His hands fidget. Mr. Wolfe, I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you understand the seriousness of your actions? Do you understand that you could have killed someone? Do you feel any remorse at all? Damien opens his mouth. Closes it. Opens it again. I mean, I didn't think about it like that. You didn't think. That's the problem. You didn't think about the crossing guard. You didn't think about the children. You didn't think about other drivers. You didn't think about anyone but yourself. So I'm going to help you learn to think. I'm going to give you a choice. Damien perks up. A choice sounds good. Choices mean options. Options mean he might get out of this. Choice 1, the judge says. You plead guilty. You accept full responsibility. You show genuine remorse. And I sentence you accordingly. Choice 2, you continue to argue. You continue to make excuses. You show no remorse. And I sentence you accordingly, but with additional penalties for your behavior in this courtroom. You have 10 seconds to decide. The lawyer grabs Damien's arm. Choice 1. Take choice 1. But. Choice 1. Damien looks at the judge. At the courtroom. At Officer Chun. At Mrs. Donovan. At Rosa Martinez. He thinks about his options. He thinks about his life. His company. His reputation. His Twitter followers. And then he makes the worst decision of his life. He reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a piece of paper. He unfolds it. It's a check. He holds it up. Your Honor, look. I'll pay whatever you want. I'll write a check right now. $10,000 to the court. $20,000. Name your price. I'll donate to the police department. I'll donate to the schools. Just tell me what it costs to make this go away. The courtroom explodes. Shouts. Real shouts. The bailiff moves forward. Quiet. Judge Caprio's face goes red. Actually read. Did you just try to bribe this court? No. No, I'm not bribing. I'm just trying to show that I'm willing to make it right financially. Put the check away. But, put away now before I add another charge. Damien puts the check away. His hands shake. Mr. Wolfe, do you understand what you just did? You attempted to use money to avoid consequences. Again. Just like you used your father's connections to get calls made. Just like you think your wealth makes you special. You've learned nothing. Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'll take choice one. I plead guilty. I'm sorry. Now you're sorry. After you tried to bribe me. After you disrespected everyone in this courtroom. After you showed no remorse for endangering lives. Now you're sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. He looks tired. Disappointed. I want you to mean it, Mr. Wolfe. That's all I've ever wanted. Genuine remorse. Genuine understanding. But you can't fake that. I've been doing this for 38 years. I can tell the difference. He looks down at his notes. He writes for a full minute. Nobody speaks. The only sound is his pen on paper. Finally, he looks up. Damien Alexander Wolfe, you have pleaded guilty to excessive speeding in a school zone. Based on the evidence presented, your behavior in this courtroom, your pattern of reckless driving, and your complete lack of remorse, I'm ready to impose sentence. Damien grips the podium. His knuckles are white. First, Judge Caprio says, financial penalties. You're fined the maximum amount allowed by law for this violation. That's $1,500. Damien relaxes slightly. $1,500. He can handle that. You're also fined $1,000 for your social media posts that showed you driving at 127 miles per hour. That's reckless driving. Another charge. $2,500 total. Still manageable. You're also fined $5,000 for attempting to interfere with Officer Chen's duties through phone calls to city officials. $7,500 total. Damien's eyes widen. You're also fined $7,500 for attempting to bribe this court. $15,000 total. Damien's mouth opens. That wasn't a bribe. Yes, it was. Total fines, $15,000. Due in 30 days. If not paid, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. The lawyer writes frantically. Second, the judge continues. License suspension. Your driving privileges in the state of Rhode Island are suspended for 180 days. 6 months. You will surrender your license to the clerk before you leave today. What? How am I supposed to get around? The same way millions of people do. Public transportation. Walking. Ride shares. You'll figure it out. Damien looks like he's going to be sick. Third, community service. You will complete 300 hours of community service. Not 100. Not 200. 300. That's insane. I'm not finished. These 300 hours will be completed as a crossing guard at Washington Elementary School. The same school where you endangered Mrs. Donovan and 5 children. You will report to the school principal every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. You will wear the safety vest. You will hold the stop sign. You will help children cross the street safely. Rain or shine, hot or cold. You will do this until your 300 hours are complete. The courtroom erupts in applause. People clap. They cheer. The bailiff doesn't stop them. Even he's smiling. Damien's face is white. You can't make me do that. I absolutely can. And I am. Mrs. Donovan will be your supervisor. You will report to her. You will do exactly what she says. If you miss even one shift, you'll be held in contempt and spend 30 days in jail. Do you understand? This is cruel and unusual punishment. No, it's education. Next, you will write a 5,000-word essay on the topic, why traffic laws exist and who they protect. You will research traffic fatalities. You will interview families who've lost loved ones to reckless driving. You will make this personal. You will turn it in to me within 60 days. It will be handwritten. No computers. No AI. Your own hand, your own thoughts, your own words. Damien is shaking. Your Honor, please. I'm not done. You will also attend victim impact panels. Once a month for 6 months. You will sit in a room and listen to people whose lives were destroyed by reckless drivers. You will hear their stories. You will not speak unless asked a question. You will not use your phone. You will listen. The judge pauses. He takes a sip of water. Additionally, you will create and fund a scholarship program at Providence Public Schools. The scholarship will be named after Mrs. Patricia Donovan. It will provide $5,000 annually to a student who demonstrates community service and kindness. You will fund this scholarship for 10 years. $50,000 total. The first payment is due in 90 days. Damien's lawyer stands. Your Honor, this is excessive. Sit down, Mr. Pierce. I'm within my rights on every single penalty. If you'd like to appeal, that's your prerogative. But this sentence stands. The lawyer sits. Finally, Judge Caprio says. His voice is quieter now. More serious. I'm finding you in contempt of court for your behavior today. Your disrespect. Your phone usage. Your attempt to bribe this court. For that, you will spend 15 days in the Providence County Jail. Bailiff, take Mr. Wolfe into custody. The room gasps. Real shock this time. The bailiff steps forward. He pulls handcuffs from his belt. Wait. Damien backs up. Wait, you can't do this. I have rights. You do have rights, Judge Caprio says calmly. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney, which you already have. But you also have the responsibility to respect this court. You failed that responsibility. Bailiff. The bailiff reaches for Damien's wrist. Damien pulls away. Don't touch me. Mr. Wolfe, the bailiff says firmly. Put your hands behind your back. No. This is insane. My father will. Your father isn't here, Judge Caprio says. You are. Now cooperate, or we'll add resisting to your charges. Damien looks around wildly. His lawyer won't look at him. Officer Chun stands with her arms crossed. Rosa Martinez watches with tears in her eyes. Mrs. Donovan clutches her safety vest. Damien's shoulders slump. He puts his hands behind his back. The bailiff cuffs him. The metal clicks. The sound echoes in the silent courtroom. And then Damien does something nobody expects. He raises his middle finger. Directly at Judge Caprio. Right there in front of everyone. The courtroom explodes. People jump to their feet. Shouts fill the room. The bailiff grabs Damien's arm and yanks it down. Judge Caprio doesn't move. He just stares. His face is calm, but his eyes show everything. Disappointment. Disbelief. And something else. Pity. Mr. Wolfe, he says quietly. You just made the worst decision of your life. That gesture adds another 30 days to your contempt sentence. 45 days total. You'll be released on May 1st. Maybe by then you'll have learned something. Take him away. The bailiff walks Damien toward the side door. Damien is crying now. Real tears. Panic tears. Wait. Please. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Please. The door closes behind him. His voice fades. The courtroom stays silent for a full minute. Then Judge Caprio speaks. Ms. Martinez, please approach. Rosa stands slowly. She walks to the bench. She's shaking. Ms. Martinez, I've reviewed your case. 3 parking tickets. Total of $285. Tell me about your situation. Rosa's voice is soft. Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I work at St. Joseph's. I try to pay the meters, but sometimes I can't. The hospital lot is always full. I have to park on the street. I support my mother, my 2 children. My daughter has cerebral palsy. The medical bills. Her voice breaks. How much can you afford to pay per month? Maybe $30. Judge Caprio writes something. Here's what we're going to do. I'm reducing your fines to $100. You'll pay it at $30 per month. No interest. No penalties. That work for you? Rosa's eyes widen. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. And one more thing. He pulls an envelope from his desk. This is a parking pass for the courthouse lot. It's good for 1 year. You can park there when you come to work. It's 3 blocks from the hospital. Will that help? Rosa starts crying. Your Honor, I don't know what to say. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping people. Keep being a good mother. That's enough. You're dismissed. Rosa walks back to her seat. People reach out and touch her shoulder. Smile at her. Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom. This is why we have laws. This is why we have courts. Not to punish for the sake of punishment, but to teach, to protect, to ensure fairness. Mr. Wolfe had every advantage in life, every opportunity, and he learned nothing about respect or responsibility. Ms. Martinez has every disadvantage, and she shows up every day with dignity and grace. That's the difference. That's what matters. Court is adjourned. He stands. Everyone stands. He exits. The courtroom empties slowly. People talk in small groups. They're shocked, amazed, satisfied. Officer Chen finds Mrs. Donovan in the hallway. "You okay?" she asks. Mrs. Donovan nods. "I am now. Thank you for your report, for taking this seriously. You were almost killed. Of course I took it seriously." They hug. Two strangers connected by trauma and justice. Rosa Martinez walks to her car. She holds the parking pass like it's made of gold. She calls her mother's caregiver. "I'm on my way home. Tell Maria I'll be there in 30 minutes. Tell her mama loves her." She starts her car. A 2009 Honda Civic with 210,000 miles. She drives carefully. Always carefully. She stops at every stop sign. She uses her blinker. She goes exactly the speed limit. 3 months pass. Damien Wolfe is released from jail. He's lost 20 pounds. His hair is messy. His face is pale. He hasn't seen sunlight in weeks except during exercise periods. His lawyer meets him outside. "Your community service starts tomorrow. 7 a.m. at Washington Elementary." "I know," Damien says quietly. "Your father posted bail for the additional charges. He's very disappointed." "I know. The media is everywhere. Your company's stock dropped 18%. Your board is considering removing you." "I know." They drive in silence. The next morning, Damien wakes up at 5:30 a.m. He takes the bus. The first bus ride of his life. It's crowded. It smells like coffee and sweat. People push past him. Nobody recognizes him. He walks 4 blocks to Washington Elementary. It's 6:45 a.m. The sun is just coming up. Mrs. Donovan is already there. She holds 2 safety vests and 2 stop signs. "You're early," she says. "Yes, ma'am." "Good. Put this on." She hands him a vest. It's bright orange. On the back it says, "Community Service," in large black letters. He puts it on. "Here's how this works," Mrs. Donovan says. "You stand here. When children arrive, you watch for cars. When it's safe, you step into the crosswalk and hold up your sign. The children cross. You make sure they're safe. Every single one. Do you understand?" "Yes, ma'am." "If you're late, I report you to the judge. If you're rude to children, I report you. If you use your phone, I report you. Clear?" "Yes, ma'am." "One more thing. See that car?" She points at a silver Lamborghini parked across the street. Damien's car. It's been sitting there for 3 months. Covered in dust. That's a reminder. A reminder of what you were. Out here, you're not a CEO. You're not a millionaire. You're a crossing guard. You're here to keep children safe. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing less. Damien looks at his car. It used to make him feel powerful. Now it just makes him feel ashamed. At 7:15 a.m., the first children arrive. 2 girls, maybe 8 years old. They're giggling about something. They don't notice Damien. Cars approach. Damien steps into the crosswalk. He holds up his sign. The cars stop. The girls cross safely. "Good," Mrs. Donovan says. More children arrive. Dozens of them. With parents. With siblings. Some walk alone. Some ride bikes. Damien helps each one cross. Over and over. His arm gets tired from holding the sign. His feet hurt from standing. The sun gets brighter. Hotter. A man in a BMW drives past slowly. He stares at Damien. Then he pulls out his phone. He takes a picture. By lunchtime, that picture is all over Twitter. Crypto CEO Damien Wolfe working as crossing guard, court-ordered humiliation. The photo shows Damien in his orange vest. Community service, clearly visible. His face is sunburned. He looks exhausted. The internet erupts. Some people laugh. Some people cheer. Some people say the punishment is too harsh. Most people say it's perfect. His company releases a statement. Mr. Wolfe is taking a leave of absence to focus on personal growth and community service. The board has full confidence in our interim CEO. His Twitter followers start dropping. 230,000 becomes 210,000. Then 180,000. Then 150,000. But something else happens too. Parents at Washington Elementary start to recognize him. At first they glare. They whisper. They keep their children away from him. But after 2 weeks, something changes. A mother approaches him. "My daughter told me you helped her when she dropped her backpack in the crosswalk. She said you stopped all the cars and helped her pick up her books. Thank you." Damien doesn't know what to say. You're welcome. Another parent overhears. He helped my son too. My son is scared of crossing streets. Damien walked with him all the way across. Held his hand. More stories come. Small kindnesses. Quiet moments. Damien helping a child tie their shoe. Damien giving his umbrella to a kid in the rain. Damien staying 10 extra minutes to make sure the last student got picked up safely. Mrs. Donovan notices too. You're getting better at this, she says one morning. Thank you. Why are you being so kind to them? The cameras aren't here anymore. The reporters left. Nobody's watching. Damien thinks about this. In jail, I had a lot of time to think. About what Judge Caprio said. About Mrs. Martinez. About you. About those kids I almost hit. I keep thinking, what if I had? What if I'd been 1 second slower? What if you hadn't jumped? Those 5 kids would be dead. Because of me. Because I was late to a meeting. He stops. His voice cracks. I can't take it back. I can't undo it. But I can make sure it never happens again. To anyone. So I do this. He gestures at the crosswalk. It's not much. It's not enough. But it's something. Mrs. Donovan's expression softens. That's the first real thing I've heard you say. I have 98 more days of this, Damien says. I want to do it right. Then you're learning. Finally. 6 months pass. Damien completes his 300 hours. He writes his essay. He attends the victim impact panels. He listens to stories that break his heart. Stories of children killed by drunk drivers. Stories of families destroyed by street racers. Stories of lives ended because someone was in a hurry. At the final victim impact panel, a woman speaks. Her son was killed by a speeding driver. He was 17. He was walking home from school. The driver got 3 years in prison. After her speech, Damien raises his hand. Can I say something? The moderator nods. Damien stands. My name is Damien. 6 months ago, I almost killed a crossing guard and 5 children. I was driving 68 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I thought I was in control. I thought I was special. He pauses. I was wrong. About everything. I'm so sorry for what you've all been through. I'm sorry I added to a culture that treats speed like it's cool. That treats reckless driving like it's fun. I posted videos of myself going 127 miles per hour. I thought it was impressive. Now I think it's disgusting. His voice breaks. I don't deserve forgiveness. I didn't kill anyone, but only because I got lucky. Because Mrs. Donovan jumped. That's it. That's the only reason. And I have to live with that. With knowing how close I came. He sits down. The room is silent. After the session, the woman whose son was killed approaches him. Thank you for saying that. I don't deserve your thanks. Maybe not. But you said it anyway. And that matters. She walks away. Damien returns to court for his final review hearing. It's December now. 9 months after his original sentencing. Judge Caprio reviews his file. Mr. Wolfe, you've completed all requirements of your sentence. 300 hours of community service. Victim impact panels. The essay. The scholarship fund is established. How do you feel? Damien stands. Grateful, Your Honor. And ashamed. Ashamed of how I acted. Ashamed of what I said to you, to Officer Chun, to everyone in this room. I was wrong. About everything. What did you learn? I learned that money doesn't make me special. I learned that actions have consequences. I learned that I could have killed someone, and it wouldn't have mattered how rich I was. They'd still be dead. And I learned. He pauses. I learned that the people I thought were beneath me are the people who make the world work. Nurses like Ms. Martinez. Crossing guards like Mrs. Donovan. Police officers like Officer Chun. They're the real heroes. Not me. Judge Caprio watches him carefully. Do you mean that? Yes, sir. I do. Good. Because your community service is complete, but your education isn't. I'm releasing you from probation. But I'm also challenging you. You have resources. You have a platform. You have influence. Use it for good. Use it to make traffic safety a priority. Use it to help working families. Use it to be the person you should have been all along. I will, Your Honor. I promise. Promises are easy. Actions matter. Show me. Show this community. Show yourself. You're dismissed. Damien walks out of the courtroom. Outside, reporters wait. Cameras flash. Mr. Wolfe. How do you feel? Do you think your punishment was fair? Are you going back to CryptoFlash? Damien stops. He looks at the cameras. 6 months ago, he would have loved this attention. Now it makes him uncomfortable. I'm grateful that Judge Caprio gave me a chance to learn. I'm grateful to Mrs. Donovan for teaching me. I'm grateful that nobody was hurt by my reckless driving. And I'm committed to doing better. That's all I want to say. He walks away. 1 year later, Washington Elementary holds an assembly. All 400 students sit in the gym. Parents line the walls. Mrs. Donovan stands at the podium. She's retiring. 15 years as a crossing guard. Thousands of children kept safe. I want to thank everyone, she says. This job has been the greatest honor of my life. But I want to introduce someone who learned what this job really means. Damien walks onto the stage. The gym goes quiet. My name is Damien Wolfe, he says. A year and a half ago, I almost killed Mrs. Donovan and 5 students from this school. I was driving too fast. I was reckless. I was selfish. Some parents shift uncomfortably. They remember. Judge Caprio sentenced me to 300 hours as a crossing guard under Mrs. Donovan's supervision. I thought it was punishment. I thought it was humiliation. I was wrong. It was education. He looks at Mrs. Donovan. This woman taught me more in 6 months than I learned in 4 years at Stanford. She taught me patience. She taught me responsibility. She taught me that keeping people safe is the most important job in the world. He turns back to the crowd. So today I'm announcing 2 things. First, the Patricia Donovan Scholarship will continue forever. I'm endowing it with $1 million. Every year, 5 students will receive $10,000 each to pursue their education. Students who show kindness, community service, and care for others. The crowd applauds. Mrs. Donovan covers her mouth with her hands. Tears stream down her face. Second, I'm starting a new company. It's called Safe Drive. We're creating technology that prevents speeding in school zones. If you drive too fast, the car automatically slows down. It can't be overridden. We're partnering with car manufacturers. Within 5 years, this technology will be standard in every new vehicle sold in America. More applause. Louder this time. I can't change what I did. I can't take back my actions. But I can make sure that nobody else makes the same mistakes. Mrs. Donovan, thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for showing me what real strength looks like. He steps away from the podium. Mrs. Donovan hugs him. The gym erupts in applause. Rosa Martinez watches from the back of the gym. Her daughter Maria sits in her wheelchair beside her. Rosa works at the hospital still. But things are better now. She received a raise. She qualified for parking assistance. She's paying off her fines. She thinks about that day in court. About the angry young man. About Judge Caprio's wisdom. About justice. She thinks about how one moment can change everything. How one judge can change a life. How consequences can become lessons. Officer Chun is there too. In uniform. She's been promoted to sergeant. She still patrols Elmwood Avenue. Still runs speed enforcement. Still protects the community. She thinks about all the traffic stops she's made. Thousands of them. Most are routine. Some are dangerous. A few are transformative. She remembers Damien's face when she pulled him over. His arrogance. His dismissiveness. His certainty that he was above the law. She remembers his face 6 months later. At the crossing guard station. Humble. Tired. Changed. She believes in second chances. She also believes in consequences. Sometimes they're the same thing. Judge Frank Caprio sits in his chambers. He's reviewing tomorrow's cases. A parking dispute. A noise complaint. A speeding ticket. His door opens. His clerk enters. Judge, there's someone here to see you. He doesn't have an appointment, but he says it's important. Who is it? Damien Wolfe. Judge Caprio pauses. Send him in. Damien enters. He wears jeans and a simple shirt. No designer labels. No watch. No jewelry. Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I wanted to give you something. He places an envelope on the desk. What's this? A letter. I wrote it by hand. It's a thank you. For not giving up on me. For teaching me. For showing me that justice isn't about punishment. It's about transformation. Judge Caprio opens the envelope. He reads the letter. It's 3 pages. Handwritten. Every word is sincere. You didn't have to do this, the judge says quietly. Yes, I did. You changed my life. You saved my life, actually. If you'd just find me and let me go, I'd still be the same person. Arrogant. Reckless. Eventually, I would have killed someone. Or killed myself. You stop that. So thank you. They talk for 30 minutes. About life. About change. About redemption. When Damien leaves, Judge Caprio returns to his desk. He looks at the letter. Then he files it carefully in a folder. A folder labeled, Reminders of Why This Job Matters. He's been a judge for 39 years. He's seen thousands of cases. Most blur together. But some stay with you. Some remind you why you put on the robe every morning. This is one of those cases. That night, Judge Caprio goes home. His wife asks about his day. It was a good day, he says. A really good day. Why? Because I saw proof that people can change. That consequences can teach. That justice, real justice, isn't about revenge. It's about growth. She smiles. Tell me about it. And he does. Meanwhile, across the city, Damien Wolfe sits in his small apartment. Not the penthouse he used to own. He sold that. He downsized. He lives simply now. He opens his laptop. He checks the SafeDrive website. Orders are coming in. Car manufacturers are interested. The technology works. He gets an email. It's from a mother in Ohio. Her son was killed by a speeding driver last year. She heard about SafeDrive. She wants to help. She wants to spread the word. Damien writes back. They start a conversation that will lead to a partnership, a foundation, a movement. He thinks about the middle finger, the worst moment of his life, the moment that could have defined him forever. Instead, it became a turning point, a moment of such profound stupidity that it shocked him into change. He's grateful for it now, grateful for the 45 days in jail, grateful for the 300 hours in an orange vest, grateful for Mrs. Donovan's patience, grateful for Judge Caprio's wisdom. He goes to bed early. He has a meeting tomorrow morning with school administrators about installing speed cameras in school zones, about making streets safer. He sets his alarm for 6 a.m. Before he sleeps, he thinks about those 5 children, the ones he almost hit. They're in high school now. They're alive. They're safe. They don't remember the silver Lamborghini that almost ended their lives. But Damien remembers. He'll always remember. And that's exactly how it should be. Justice isn't a moment. It's a lifetime. It's every choice you make after you've been given a second chance. It's what you do when nobody's watching. It's who you become when you finally understand that you're not special. You're not above the law. You're not better than anyone else. You're just human, flawed, capable of terrible things, but also capable of change. Judge Frank Caprio knew this. He's always known this. That's why Providence Municipal Court isn't just a place of punishment. It's a place of possibility. A place where the richest CEO and the working nurse stand on equal ground. A place where the law applies to everyone. No exceptions. No shortcuts. No amount of money can buy your way out. That's justice. Real justice. The kind that changes lives. The kind that saves lives. The kind that builds communities. The kind that reminds us we're all connected. That the crossing guard matters as much as the CEO. That the nurse deserves respect as much as the judge. That every life has value. Every person has dignity. Money can buy many things. Expensive cars. Designer clothes. Fancy watches. Penthouse apartments. First-class tickets. Private schools. Political connections. But it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. It cannot erase consequences. It cannot change who you are inside. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. That belongs to everyone. Equally. Always.